Good morning.
I'm Lorna with our broadcast. I'm curious, just sort of off the top, like where were you when you found out? What was your reaction? How are you feeling?
I was sitting at home on the lounge room floor with my dog, my 11-year-old golden doodle. My wife was at the gym, and I got the phone call. Yeah, so a little bit of a whirlwind last couple of days, but very excited to be here and be a part of a winning team, a winning culture, and happy to play a part in whatever that is to be able to help win. So, yeah, very excited.
You and Kawhi have a special history together that's now spanned, I guess, like a full decade, right?
Right, right.
What was your relationship like then? What's it like to be with him now?
Yeah, just a couple of young bucks back in the day, win an NBA championship, and obviously being able to witness his growth firsthand was really cool. But yeah, there's something that you achieve in your life that you kind of bonds you together, and you have that forever. So very grateful for my time spent with him. Close bond with him in San Antonio, and obviously close since then. So to be able to reunite, I guess, a decade later, on the quest for the same sort of thing is very exciting. Yeah.
At this stage of I'm Brad Turner with the LA Times.
Nice to meet you.
At this stage of your career, what do you envision your role being here with the Clippers?
Yeah, look, I think whatever the environment is, for me, having a purpose in anything in life, but particularly this basketball environment, having a purpose, and that purpose being winning, you find ways to make an impact, to contribute, do your part. That's my upbringing. That's what I've been around. That's what I've learned from the best. But from what I've seen already, there's people that play their part to be able to contribute to a winning team. So coming here, midway through the season, whatever that is, it's more the willingness to do that, the willingness to sacrifice certain things and do your part. So there's a lot of familiar faces for me around this team and locker room and staff that I think will give me the confidence to be the veteran leader that I am, and be vocal in that standpoint as well. But as I said, once I get a feel for how things work and how I can make an impact, that will be it. Yeah.
What does it feel like going from playing in Utah, that's probably looking for the future lottery, to coming to a Clipper team that's top six in the West, hoping to move up, playing for a title? What does that feel like?
Yeah. Well, I'll let you know how that goes. But I guess, yeah, it's back to, again, the purpose of playing basketball, the purpose of competing to win, and doing your part. So this is definitely familiar territory on the quest of something greater. And it's fun. It's fun when you find a group and you find guys that are willing to do their part to win a championship. It's very cool. So yeah, hopefully I can bring that here.
Tom Arizaro with Touchpoints. Nice to meet you. Welcome to LA.
Cheers, mate.
I'm curious what you guys saw this team twice this year. What were your impression of this team from the outside looking in about just where they're at, what their strengths are, what their weaknesses, where you can help and stuff like that?
That's a great question. I think when you're on the other side, you're probably a little bit more focused, at least where I was, on our group at the time and what we were trying to do. But at first glance, obviously, we didn't have a good game. I think we lost by 30 or maybe more than that. But I think just the sheer talent and the team that I was, you go up against them, and they've got you in every position. So I think the sheer talent, two-way guys, athleticism, up and down, IQ is another big one. Obviously, when the ball's in certain guys' hands, it's the creative basketball IQ that separates, you know, a lot of them from other guys in the league. And you go down the line and you see who's coming off the bench and how much, you know, professionalism and veteran players there are to continue that kind of match the energy type of deal. So I don't know, being my second day here and getting to know everything, it's as I said, it's very familiar to what I like and what I'm used to. Yeah.
You've been in the league for a minute. Stop photo you and Nico Batum back in Portland.
Yeah.
Like youngins, like what is it? I mean, only 400 whatever players in the NBA. What is it about you that you've been able to stay, you know, have a lengthy NBA career, maintain this kind of consistency?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think going back to your point, it's about being a professional, and I think taking pride in being a professional athlete. It's about doing your work. It's about looking after your body, doing all the tedious things. It's about discipline, and it's also about continuing to want to learn. And be efficient with those things. And I think that's what's kept me around so long. I think there's a part here of being a good teammate as well. But I think for me, it's always about being curious. And that never stops. And it should never stop for any professional athlete. Always wanting to learn new things and figure out ways to get better, to create the longevity of a career. But it all starts, I think, with the discipline and the work ethic and the eagerness to want to continue to learn. Cheers, mate.
I gotta say, like, you killed the Clippers. Over the course of your career, like, I remember a few years ago you had 8 threes. The first time you hit 8 threes in a game. Had another 6 threes playing with James. Like, what have you recalled just, you know, when you're feeling your best playing basketball, especially, you know, against this franchise?
Man, fun, love, pure joy. I think pure joy is really the feeling that I get when those moments are happening. I really feed off positivity and good vibes, and I think that's how I approach life. And I really feel like when you're on that trajectory, then great things can happen with you, and I believe that on the court as well. So obviously playing with a lot of guys before, you know, there's some connections there. I really enjoyed my time playing with James and felt like we had a cohesive little stint there in Brooklyn, complemented well each other. But I think just the joy, like, you know, we're so lucky and I'm so grateful to be in a position to play in the NBA for this long and create the friendships and the relationships with guys over the course of my career. And it's fun, man. And I think, you know, you should never lose that perspective. We're lucky to be able to do this, and you got to take advantage of these opportunities. So to your question though, it's about pure joy and just enjoying every moment, and that's what I'm doing right now.
Have you been able to talk to Lawrence, talk to T. Lou about what they expect from you, and how have those conversations gone about, you know, you being here now?
Yeah, spoken to both of them. Nothing specific just yet, and I think that's my point about, like, look, being here is just being able to figure out what that is and fully committing to doing that, whatever it may be. It's I have a role here, and it's about doing whatever it is the best that I can. I've experienced this with many winning teams before in the NBA and on the national team, and succeeded and seen what it's meant to look like. So I think I'll be able to slide in here quite well, yeah.
What's something that, away from basketball, that people maybe don't know about you, maybe a hobby that you like to do, or you said you have a dog, like, what's something that people don't know about you off the court?
Oh, geez, we might have not enough time to be able to tell you all about my hobbies. Yeah, well, I guess for people that don't know me, my name is Paddy Mills, And this is the part that I think I really enjoy because of maybe how I look or how I'm perceived to people over here. I'm Indigenous Australian, and that's something that I take a lot of pride in. I'm a Gugara, Nagyagal, and Dwarab Meriam man, born and raised in Australia. And being Indigenous Australian is something that I am really proud of. And I'm still strong in my identity, even having 16 years in the NBA. And I think I'm someone that a minority on the other side of the world and other countries are able to look up to and hopefully be inspired from. So I enjoy that role. I think it's a part of me, and I hope to inspire all those people to hopefully make their dreams come true as well.
Not to get too deep, but talk about your identity. How do you maintain that being so far away from home for so long?
Yeah, it's not easy, as you can imagine, but I think it's about practicing culture on a daily basis, whether that's speaking language, whether that's traditional foods in the kitchen, singing songs, playing the guitar. I think there's a few things there that I've been able to stay connected to and grounded with, artifacts throughout the house. So bounced around the US now for a little bit, but I think that's something that I've always been able to stay connected with and strong with is my identity and being proud of that. That's something that my parents, both my mum and dad, taught me at a very young age and instilled with me, and I've taken with that for my whole career. Yeah.
Great opportunity. I had a good time in Utah. Those guys were front office, players, coaches. Everybody was really good to me, and I'm excited to be here, play a part of a winning team, and make a playoff push and just bring what I got.
Have you and Tyloo had a chance to talk about what your role might be here?
Who?
You and Tyloo?
No. Sorry, I didn't hear what you said. No, not yet. We've met, obviously, chatted for a bit, but no role defining yet.
True. Tomer Azar with Clutch Points. Nice to meet you. Welcome to LA.
Thank you.
What have your impressions been of this team? I think you faced them once this year, twice. What have your impressions been of this team, just from the outside looking in?
Very disruptive team. I think the second time that we played you guys, we're out in transition a bunch and just obviously the number one defensive team, so we turn the ball over a lot. Very disruptive, but honestly just got a lot of great players, a lot of superstars, guys who make plays, and yeah.
The backup big man spot has been a bit of a hole for this team. I know they've gone small the last couple of games as well. Where do you see kind of you just being able to plug in and fill some voids there?
Yeah, athletic, get out and run the floor, be a lob threat, protect the rim, get guys like James and Kawhi, Norm, those guys open for threes or get going downhill, finish around the rim, be a physical presence for them. I know Zoo plays a lot of minutes, so just filling in the gaps when he's not out there.
Andrew, Law Murray at The Athletic, good to see you. I know that you're an interior player. I've seen your corner three.
Mm-hmm.
You shoot like 40% the last couple years or whatever. My question is, how comfortable are you taking that shot, and would you want to take more of those shots now that you changed teams?
Yeah, I definitely would. It's obviously a higher percentage, but I'm not shooting a ton of them, and I think that's because most of the time I'm just not in those positions where I'm spacing out. But it's something I work on every single off season, work on it throughout the year. It's part of my routine to shoot threes, corner threes specifically, and if I'm put in that spot and they're like, hey, we want you to shoot these shots, then I'll shoot them and I'll work on them even more. But it's just, I don't normally find myself in that position to shoot a ton of them. So when I do, I try to shoot them, but it's really circumstantial.
I remember when you was with Chris Dunn in Portland. It was not a long time, but you had some games.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Some pretty good games. What's it like having someone when you change teams that you've at least been with in previous stuff.
Yeah, no, it's huge, and having Patty come along too, we've had a connection from San Antonio as well. But I love playing with Chris when in the literally like this exact same scenario the last like 2 or 3 months of the season, and he's obviously a great defensive player, makes the right play, plays within himself, and I'm excited to get back on the court with him.
Is there
Drew,
something?
go ahead. You already started, go.
Is there something? Well, what is something about you that maybe people don't know off the court, away from basketball, that you maybe like do like a hobby or anything like that?
I don't know. I mean, I try to keep basketball life and personal life separate, But man, I'm pretty simple. Like I show up to work. This is my job, and then go home, spend time with my wife, dogs. We like to just get outside, just whatever. I mean, it's tough during the season to have like outside hobbies because basketball takes up so much time. But really, it's like the things I do outside of basketball kind of prepare myself for basketball, So
Drew, I'm Lauren. I'm with our broadcast. I'm curious, James Harden has a pretty illustrious history of working with bigs. So whether it was like, I don't know, watching him as a fan because you're younger, watching as an opponent, like what excites you about playing on his side specifically?
I've seen, like you said, what he's been able to do for guys like Clint Capella, Zubac these last 2 years. I think he's been here. Like I know he was working with Zoo after shoot arounds on pick and roll timing and stuff, and I've seen how his game's been able to grow with the addition of James. So I'm excited to get to be a part of that, and I think outside of playing with like guys like Dame, I haven't really played with a guy who just put the ball where it needs to go and make the right play. So whether he's coming off and shooting threes or getting downhill and getting to his floater or throwing lobs, I'm ready for it.